revolution.
Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Eyes check. Complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Informant podcast. Pistol Pete from Spockholm. Tonight I have with me Jennifer, the Mafia Wars loot lady, and Jenna, Mig Death by Gucci. What's happening, ladies?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Getting back to reality tomorrow.
Why tomorrow?
My kid goes back to school, so it's my holidays are over.
Oh, the holidays are officially over tomorrow.
Officially, I get to go back to reality.
He's been off all this time?
Yeah, tomorrow's
Oh, wow.
his first day back, yeah.
Wow.
Most people got out earlier than he did, and I was bummed about that, but it was
then
nicer having more time later, I think.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so reality check.
Yep.
What's up with you, Jen?
Do we want to start there?
I don't know. She just said a lot.
I have a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last night, I do my family progression. I get it done right away, and then I collect throughout the day as I'm leveling.
Right.
So I noticed it was getting close to midnight, and I hadn't collected on my family progression, so I'm like, oh, I better do it. So I click to collect, and then all of a sudden my little family progression icon, it disappeared. And I didn't get my bonus, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And so I reloaded and, did all the stuff you usually do when there's a problem, and it was gone. So then I looked, and my boss fight tab had turned to operations tab, and I'm like, that's weird. And I went to my family page, and then it said, join a new family. So I'm like, oh my God, my family's gone. And, you always think when you're out of a family, oh, maybe I got booted out, but I didn't think NG would do that to me. So I go to the ass wall, and everyone's like, our family's gone. And we had the tag, but what happened is as soon as you went to your game again and did something in the game, the tag disappeared. So our family just vanished. And we were in a battle, we were in a boss fight that we paid for, and all of it's gone. It's as if we never had a family at all.
And so what's being done about this?
I don't know. So, of course, we're all going to go on customer support. And I was excited because I had the live chat icon, because this is not an issue you want to wait 12 to 18 hours for to get a response.
Right.
So I get onto live chat, and it says, please wait. All operators are busy. Someone will be with you shortly. It said that for 45 minutes. So, and I'm constantly checking because I don't want to miss out. And then all of a sudden it says, there are no agents available. Please try again. So that made me more mad, because why do they have me wait? If there was no agents available, I shouldn't have even gotten the icon.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I was a little peeved about that. So I sent in an email, and we had one guy that did get through to chat, and they told him that they could see our family. It was fine. So it was a display error. And we're like, well, how can a display error affect 100 people across different servers? So that didn't make sense. And then the next day, a couple people got in touch with them, and one agent said that somebody must be running a script that made the whole family disappear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm like, and I know nothing about computers, and I found it ridiculous. I'm sure Pete can elaborate how that's not possible.
Well, anything's possible, but it's the odds of that happening. One person running one script that's now affected all players, like you said, across every different server that those people can potentially be on. And anyone having that kind of control over anybody else's account like that is a security problem anyway.
Uh-huh.
So they should be stepping up immediately and trying to fix it, because then that would mean that anybody out there that got a similar type script could shut down any family out there. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not buying that.
I don't buy it either. So, and then of course, people that don't check our family page, like our godfather and I got some messages from people thinking they got kicked out of the family. And it's emotional. People find these family modules very important. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've noticed today, I haven't wanted to play Mafia Wars, and it's not fun. Without the family module, like we lost all our bonus points for our equipment scores because we don't have the property anymore.
Oh, that's
And it's
crap.
just, yeah, so I noticed my, fight win to loss ratio was a lot lower because I'm not as strong now because my bonuses are gone.
Right.
And we've a lot of people in our family spend a lot of money on this game. And we've worked hard. We're almost on level 10 of family progression, and it just seems like all that work was for nothing, and it could just be yanked away from you like that.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah, and some people are like, in the comments, of course I wrote a blog post about it because I wanted to gather all the information in one spot. So when people did write to support, they could reference my post. And people are like, oh, it serves you right for using scripts, blah, blah, blah. And they think that maybe Zynga did this on purpose, but our name, Assassinators, is after one script. The Spockholm family represents over 100 scripts. So I would think if that were the case, they would go more towards removing the Spockholm family instead of ours. And then, of course, we got, maybe it's the name is offensive, but we've already been through that. Our tag was removed twice because of that. And
Right.
both times Zynga gave it back to us because we proved that in the game they used that word.
Right.
If you, level up your property, your request says kick some ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take on all this, Pete?
Well, I certainly think that it's something that they should be able to fix pretty easily if in fact the family just disappeared. And that sounds like something that they just did that happened on their end through some fluke or whatever else. The only thing I was wondering, and when I first read what happened to you, is there a way for a godfather or whatever to actually delete their own family?
Not that I know of. We were told when the feature was first implemented that if a godfather wanted to leave their family, they had to
hand it down.
Hand it down. Otherwise, there was no way to remove it.
I wondered that. Okay, that's because that was the only other thing that came to mind was maybe there was a way to actually, say I'm not dealing with this family anymore, and I'm just shutting it down. And then someone had that power and did it, but I'd have never noticed that in game.
No, I don't think anyone does, and our godfather NG is pretty upset about it too.
Well, yeah.
So I don't think if there was a way you could inadvertently do that.
Well, and they should be able to get it back. If they can revert back players on an individual basis or based on certain activity, then they can revert back a family and the missing information from that too. We've seen that before.
Well, they better be able to.
We had, I was trying to remember when you brought this up.
You had that problem.
We had something happen too, but I don't remember like everything disappearing. I remember we still had our tag. And I still think at the time, of course, we didn't have family properties, but we could not do any progression whatsoever. I think the family progression still showed, we just couldn't do it. I was trying to remember. So much stuff's happened in the game. It's now everything's a cloudy blur, but I don't think we've ever had quite like yours where it's just like we completely fell off the face of the earth. We lost accessibility in time to features in the game, and I don't think we could get to our family module either. Now that I think about it, it was weird, but it was like a couple of days and whatever it was, they fixed it. But at the time, I think two others were faced with the same dilemma. I don't think it was just us, where it sounds like, this may be isolated to just your family for whatever reason.
I think it is. I had asked on my fan page when it first happened.
Right.
And I got like maybe 50 comments that, nope, our family's still there.
Now there's 15,000 families out there. So, it's
true.
Possible that there's some that are not,
responding,
paying attention to the fan pages and stuff.
Someone did make a comment on the blog that it happened to their family too.
Yeah. So I didn't know, but if it's something that they've got a problem with in the game, they should be able to fix it without too much trouble. Now, whether or not the first level of support you get that usually is useless as tits on a bull, then they're whether or not they'll pass it on to the next level that really has the power to do anything about it, of course, is another issue entirely.
Yeah, and that's what's really upsetting is we should not have to wait for this to be fixed if it can be fixed.
Right.
And we're not getting help from support. And we kind of feel lost. Like nobody's confident that it's going to come back. Now,
this is where in the past, this is where we would turn it up to the community manager and say, well, we've been through the channels of properly going through support. Now it's time for you to step in and get the ball rolling on this, because now you're affecting the community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Take
Right.
take it to the Black Knight.
Yeah, to the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
But
Yep,
the thing
take
is,
it
you
to
know,
anybody, but
we
take
do have access to people that other players may not,
Right.
and I think this needs to be resolved fairly. I mean, it shouldn't be fair just because you know somebody, you're going to get your issue fixed where another person wouldn't.
But if
Such
it's a
is life.
security issue,
True. Yeah. I
maybe
guess
it's a good
I
person.
mean, any time in life, there's somebody knows better than or more than someone else, and if you have advantage to take advantage of it to try to restore back what should be there anyway,
Gotta do what
then
you
you gotta
do.
do what you gotta do.
And we're going to be vocal. I'm going to make posts on my blog to say how this is handling. And I think the take home message when people read this stuff is that, hey, this could happen to you too.
Yeah. Well,
So why are you investing all this time and money into the game when it can just be pulled away from you in the blink of an eye?
mm-hmm.
Which, if that don't make you hate the game, what will?
And without explanation, because if it happened for a reason, then
Right, then we need
what's
to
the
know
reason?
about
Yeah.
And if we don't get it back, I swear to God, I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
I've been kind of looking for a reason anyways, because I think I spend too much time.
Right.
And it affects my real life. You know, all this time and money I spend on reward points to do things, to test things and demonstrate. Is it really worth it if this is what's going to happen?
Right.
Yeah, you've been dedicated beyond.
Yeah,
dedication,
and
so.
it was kind of nice today to not even play. It was like, oh, okay.
What did you do today?
Well, I still blogged, but
Okay.
I didn't make sure I had, the family progression kind of kept me playing the game. Like, oh, I have
Right.
to get ISIS, I have to collect on my properties. I haven't done that. I've been robbing. I don't care about ISIS right now.
Right.
Mhm. What a drag.
Yeah.
God.
And it's just a deflating feeling, because we just got to level 8 on the family property.
Man, what a bummer.
And on family perks, everyone was excited about how well we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're third on the Spockholm leaderboard, which we're still on the Spockholm spreadsheet. So it's just like we don't exist.
I hope they correct this. It's going to piss me off.
I
Yeah.
know. And it's funny to get, I appreciate all the support I've gotten. I've gotten a lot of offers from people letting me know I could temporarily join their
I've
family.
seen that. All kinds of people.
The funniest thing about it is if I said, oh, sure, because maybe I want those family progression bonuses for experience. But when you try to join another family, it tells you you're already in one. So
See,
from the back code,
ridiculous.
they think we're still in a family, but we have no tag. We have no, any existence of a family in our account.
yeah, something squirrely. Then they should be able to find that and fix it.
Well,
If it's still showing that, yeah, if it still thinks actively you're in a family, then that family is still there somewhere in their code.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and customer support said they could see it, so it is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then one last thing to make us really pissed off: whenever you go to your Mafia Wars game, now I get the free gift pop up, which thankfully the Spockholm toolbar closes for me. Then I get the 40% off reward points pop-up offer. And then I get the pop-up to join a family. And that
Ooh.
God, are you kidding?
I'm like, do they really think I'm going to buy more reward points when they just screwed me over? I might not play the game anymore.
Yeah.
So that pop-up is not appreciated in this circumstance. Okay, that was my rant.
Well, do you feel better? Got a little bit of that out?
I'll feel better when we get our family back.
Okay, right.
And if we don't, I'm quitting. Maybe that's what people want, but I don't care.
Well, it's definitely not what I want, so. Well, Pete, did anything change in Spockholm?
Yeah, there's a couple of things, and those that don't have the golden toolbar be happy about this one. We're going to actually add a couple of new features to the toolbar in general that'll be available to all users. And one of them was actually a mod by Brandon, who, this is a sore spot for Jen, but when you get your family progression screen that pops up, that little window, you have the collect option. Well, he's tagged them with either the bronze, silver, or gold icons to tell you what stage of progression you're on that. Now, you could, of course, probably look over to the right and figure out, get an idea where you last possibly collected